Welcome to International Securities Exchange's podcast series. Facilitated by renowned educators, ISE podcasts are intended to teach beginning as well as seasoned investors the ins and outs of trading. To find an updated list of podcasts, please visit www.ise.com/podcasts. Please be sure to listen to our important message following this episode regarding the risks of investing in exchange-traded options.
Great answer. Question from Kieran. He says, what's so unique about your pivots versus the traditional pivots? Can you talk about how you actually look at it a little bit differently, or are the pivots all the same? I'm really not sure on that one.
Yeah. No, very simply put, the what I've done differently is be able to filter out by a use of a pivot point system, using a pivot point moving average component, and it filters out whether if the market's bullish or bearish. And that's why when you look at the traditional pivots, I don't trade by placing an order at like, say, the first predicted low and then just say, oh, it's going to hit pivot support. I look at pivots as kind of like an area of value. And so if the market's bullish or bearish, my person pivot formula helps give me a target area of what not only the market range might be, but it tells me what the market condition might be, not based on my opinion, but based on the mathematical calculated formula on the internals of the market as it relates from the high, the low, and the close. So what's different from my pivots than anyone else's? My pivots actually help to target if the market's bullish, we're going to see the pivots give us a higher high and a higher low versus look at all the pivots. It gives me the important ones. It filters them out for me. Thank you for that question.
Let's see if we have any others, John. John, I just appreciate, since I traded for so many years, one of your points was you do what works, and that's what we used to say on the trading floor. You do what works, and that's which John's just trying to make it simple for all you guys. There are a lot of ways to trade, and if you find a way that works, I think that's what he's saying. But you don't want to make this too difficult either. And it looks like John's methodologies are pretty straightforward. Read his books, go to his website. I think that all that really speaks for itself. John, do you have any closing comments?
Well, I say, Steve, thank you very much for allowing me to show people, number one, how they, instead of just cut and dry, like you mentioned, there's several different, street language. There's 10 or 12 now different ways to skin a cat, so to speak, as the old phrase go. I'm just showing people that when you looked at the chart that I showed you with the Euro currency index from the ISE, it doesn't trade 24 hours, so you get a lot of gaps in your analysis. But with the futures, you, A, can look at past historical studies. B, you can look at daily signals as well. So using one vehicle but executing somewhere else, that's one of the things I think is very important. There's so many different facets of this trading, Steve, and for all you individuals out there, it's just finding out what works for you. Some people may come in and give their lectures and presentations on spread trading. Buy the euro, sell the pound. And spread trading is another whole different wild beast. I'm more of a directional trader, and there's always different ways to kind of fit a square peg in a board. It's just what makes it fit for you. And like you said, Steve, I do make things simple. It's a complicated world. It's getting more complicated. It's real simple. If the market's bearish, damn it, I better see red on the board, and I better see, if I'm short, my P&L go up. Because if it's not, then my opinion's wrong and I need to readjust. So anyway, with that said, thank you very much. I hope, folks, that you definitely take this information. It's something that's it's like I say, if it's worked in the past, I have to go with a suspicion it could work in the future. I just have to be aware that the trades could be muted or magnified, and that's where I use secondary or, in some cases, 3 different confirmation tools. So with that said, Steve, again, thank you very, very much for allowing me to come and present my ideas and concepts, and I hope everyone has a great trading year.
John, I just want to say thank you so much because, again, another very, very enjoyable presentation, tremendous information. I always learn something every time that you jump aboard here. I would recommend to everyone, first step is buy his books. Why do I say that? Because it's a cheap investment. Guys, John and I know each other through business, relationship. But John doesn't work for the IAC, but I've read his book. I found it to be very, very interesting. So why don't you start with that? But you may want to just go right to his website, nationalfutures.com, and sign up for the class, because he's giving an IAC discount. So if you're interested, nationalfutures.com, or you can send him an email at jperson@nationalfutures.com. The phone number is 561-655-1881. John, thanks so much for joining us. I really appreciate it.
Awesome. And Steve, I look forward. Come by, stop, let's have a chat and talk, or have coffee in New York.
Absolutely, John. Thanks so much. On the behalf of the International Securities Exchange, I want to thank John Person for a great presentation, and I look forward to John coming back in the future. Next week we have John Yeagerson. John is an expert on options, so if you're interested, John really looks at spreads and different things like that in the options world. Please come back. And again, if you're in the New York area, please stop in to see John Person. He'll be there at the Traders Expo this upcoming weekend. I think it runs through Monday or Tuesday. Go check that out. Thanks again, John. Really appreciate it.
Have a great weekend. Thanks, Steve.
Here, John. On behalf of the International Securities Exchange, have a great trading day, everyone, and please come back next week. And if you want to listen to this presentation again, you can go to www.ise.com/archives. Thank you very much. Have a safe trading day tomorrow. On behalf of the International Securities Exchange, this is Steve Meisner saying, have a great day.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. To find more podcasts on options, stocks, alternative markets, and market data, please visit www.ise.com/podcasts.